Hello friends! We thought we'd sit down and do a life update video to bring you up to speed as to what's been going on. Over 2 weeks ago, Wes's mom ended up going into the hospital for a couple days, and we've been staying with her ever since. You'll notice that our background's changed and we're actually back home. So on Saturday, we ended up coming home, and in the course of staying with her, we've had a lot of discussions and talks with her and everything, and have realized that we're headed towards moving in with her. She's not at that point right now, but ultimately Wes and I will be moving in with her to take care of her and our son. So
she has a bigger house, and it's just more feasible to be there with her, and she's got the equipment already necessary that she needs to function.
Yeah. She has an extra bedroom, and part of what we were doing a couple days ago was cleaning out part of her office, so Wes can have an office there as well. So like we talked about with each other, we don't want it to be a matter of an emergency where she says, I have to have you over here now, and then we're trying to decide what to do with all of her stuff in both houses.
We just want it to be a progressive, controlled switch and controlled action that we're doing. We just don't want to be stuck with, what do we do now? It's an emergency.
So we fully expect to have a storage unit to keep some of our stuff, so that we might think that we'll use in the future. And I was actually thinking, I didn't talk to you about this, but this is kind of like a preparation for trying to live in an RV. You're downsizing to living light and small.
At least she doesn't have wheels in her house.
No, she doesn't have wheels. So, yeah. So we've been working on her office and coming home. Honestly, I'm a little bit overwhelmed because everywhere I look, I see a decision that needs to be made. But like we keep telling each other, we're in this together, and we're going to take it one decision at a time. And there's not a time crunch. There's not a timeline even. It's just moving towards that. In some ways that's a blessing, in some ways it's not, because without a timeline, they don't know how fast you need to be moving, but we have to start somewhere.
It's just a progression of what we've been doing since we got married. Amber had an 1,100 square foot house when we got married, and I had a 2,500 square foot house. We moved in and combined it to a 1,900 square foot house, and now it's just keep going, making it livable for us.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that, in that over the last 8 years, we worked hard to just make one house and one thing, and, trying to find the things that represent us rather than just him or I. And now it's going to be the essentials of the essentials of what makes us function, right?
Yep.
Basically, what we need in a bedroom and what we need in an office. But
it's just all figuring out what we need and what we want, what we don't need, what is just a convenience and what is a necessity, and
also the things that we know Mom already has, and there's no point in putting it in storage. I know some of those things we can't do until the end of moving, because we're still using it. It's like, Mom has washcloths, but we're not going to get rid of her washcloths right now because we're using them. But kind of have that mental list of the things that we'll get rid of when we move, and not necessarily put in storage. I guess maybe it'll be more of a list-making process than a...
It's just going to be a process.
Yeah. So we're trying to figure it out as we go. So part of the reason we wanted to do the update video is I'm sure this life change and life choices it's going to be coloring a lot of our upcoming videos. So just give some context to what's happening. I might refer back to this video as an explanation video. So to start the whole process, well, we've already started. We got rid of a fire pit that we never used. We maybe used 2 times. So it's like, we're not using it now and mom has a better one there, so there's no reason to keep it around, and just cluttering up our very, very small patio. So the next thing is the bedroom we're going to be in has bookshelves, and we measured those. So what I'm going to do at the end of this video is actually start measuring all of our bookshelf space and to see how it compares to the bookshelves there, and see how much, if any, we need to get rid of. I've always been a person to have a lot of books, and I've been steadily getting less books, but then I also get more books, so yeah. So we'll see how it compares.
Well, join us for the process.
The adventure, the journey.
Whatever it is.
This next stage in our life.
The next chapter.
Yep. So here we are in our master bedroom, and we have books above our bed. So I'm going to measure how long they are, because I have the inches. At the new bedroom, it's 44 inches times 8 for the bookshelves in there. So we have 18, and then well, no. These things I'll actually have next to the bed somewhere, so I'm not going to measure those. They're not going to be up on the bookshelf. By 29. And then one other area is of books in the bedroom. So it'd be nice if I could bring this desk, but I'm not sure. That's the next step. Is we have room measurements of the bedroom. I have to measure all the furniture and see what's happening. I know we'll have more room than it seems like right now in that room because, excuse me, currently there's a king size bed and we prefer a queen. So here we have 22 plus 5, so 27. So let's go find books in the rest of the house. I'm not sure if these are going to go in our bedroom or not, or if we're going to store them or get rid of them, but these are some binders that we have. So just to be on the safe side, I'm going to go ahead and measure it. So that's 21 inches. So here in the dining room, we have 2 bookshelves. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 shelves. I'm not sure about the puzzles. They may go somewhere else. And then we have another one, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it might be just simple just to say, what's this times 8? Because that's going to be the same for all of them. And I'll just say 7 and then have a question mark for the puzzles. So we're at 28 inches. So that was simple. On to the living room. So this is our entertainment center. These are actually all DVDs. And then here we have some books and some games. This could be pretty simple too because it's just all the cubes are the same. So just measure 1 cube, multiply it. So there are 6. So 6 times 11 1/4. And one more place. We're still in the living room, and there's books, but there's also puzzles. So I remember. So the bookshelves are either 10 to 11 and 3/4 tall. So okay, so those stacks of puzzles would fit, but as you can see, I'm using some things laying down here as bookends that we won't be using. So I think I'm going to stand them up and then measure. So that was 32. And then we have 13 plus 12.5. Then 2 more. So 19.5 plus 20. And I'm looking over there and I have some books next to my chair that I'm reading. So I should measure those as well. 4-ish. So let's do some math. I found a little bit more in our dining room. They're not necessarily all books, but these are the containers I hold my stationery in. So it'd be nice if we could keep them and keep them available. So let's see. That binder may or may not fit because I think it's closer to 12 inches. So I might have to lay down with some puzzles or something. Obviously this won't fit as it is, but the whole space is 34 inches. And then I'm going to add some extra room for this box, so 11 inches. And like I said, that binder, not sure about. It's all my stickers. So to me, it's important. Okay, so in the bedroom we have 8 shelves at 44 inches, which means our goal is 352 inches. So let's add these up. We have 18 plus 29 plus 27 plus 21 plus 28 plus 32 plus 13 plus 12.5 plus 19.5 plus 20 plus 4 plus 34 plus 11 equals, and then let's do the ones we have to multiply. It's 28 times 7, and then 11.25 times 6. And me just being me, I'm going to do that all over again so we can see if we can come up with the same number. It's not the same. Darn it, I have to do it again. Really? A third number? This is ridiculous. Okay, so the multiplying numbers are coming out the same. It's just the other one. So 18. Okay, it matches my second go around. So that's a larger number, so we'll just go with that. So the grand total is more. Now, this number includes all my stationery, and it also includes all of our puzzles, which could potentially be stored other places. So that the grand total is 532 and a half, and we're trying to fit into 352. So 200 some odd, no, 532. So 532, 352. So I need to lose 180 inches, basically 181 if you want to round up. So if I take out puzzles, and then in the living room, I didn't mark down which of these numbers were puzzles. So let me go find out. Bad news. I just realized I greatly underestimated the living room because I said times 6 cubbies and we actually have times 12 cubbies. So 6 times 11 1/4. So we're going to add another one of these. So 532.5 times, no, not times. Please not times. No, times is a huge number. Let's add 532 plus 67 and a half. So we have a grand total of actually 600. So, but puzzles are 28 plus 13 plus 12.5. So 53.5 of that is puzzles, and then my stationery was 45. Because if we're hoping to be able to fit our storage shed on her property in the back corner of her backyard. And if we do that, then West will have his personal space, but we'll also have, more storage. So some of these things could go out there, but then that's the joy of moving. You always go, oh, that'll fit over there, that'll fit over there, and that one dumping space becomes the catch-all for everything, and it's not a TARDIS. So, but I also have a large storage unit over here in the corner. We call that big thing, it's an IKEA wardrobe. We call that our white elephant because it's large and it's white. So if we can fit that somewhere, then that's a lot of storage space we can have, whether it's in the bedroom or I'm thinking maybe the garage, because that's one of the projects coming up is a garage clean out. Because a lot of, she's using basically a fourth, maybe up to a half of her garage, and the rest of it is just random stuff other people have left in her garage. Or it's old projects that never got cleaned up. And it's tools that she'll never use again. So we're hoping after the garage clean out that we'll end up with a lot of storage space out there. But of course we have a full garage too. So deciding what takes priority, I'm not sure. But let's say we don't include puzzles and we don't include stationery in this. Brings us down to 500, which is still too much. And let's say we're not going to include DVDs because she does have a place for DVDs in her house. I don't think all of ours are going to fit in there, and she'd have to lose some decorations in order for us to move them in. But just as a theory that maybe we can downsize and fit in that area. So take out that. And that brings us down to 434 of just books. Let's see. And that means in just books, I do that right? Minus, 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 yeah. Minus. So just books, we need to lose 82 inches. That's a lot. I keep downsizing the books. I guess I get to go more. I did include in that the stuff from the office. So if we find a different place for the office binders, it's 61 inches, but still. That's basically 5 foot of books. And that still seems like a lot. And I just got rid of, I think previously, if you watched the walking videos, you saw me, my decluttered books from the shelves I stare at when I'm stretching. One comfort I give myself is seeing if the books are in Kindle form, because I do have an iPad and I can use Kindle on it. And I actually have been reading books on it, so it's not like some random behavior I need to start just because of this. So if the books are available in Kindle, and I'm currently not reading them, but eventually I want to read them, a lot of times it's a lot cheaper that way. Or if they're available at a library. Our personal library is not that wonderful. It's just a small town library. I'm really used to, I was spoiled. I grew up in the Los Angeles County, and if people don't realize, Los Angeles County is not just Los Angeles, it's massive. The county itself is like one of the largest counties. I forget the stats on it, but it's massive. And so when you're in the Los Angeles County library system, you have access to basically everything you can imagine. So coming down to a small town, Texas town library that's not really connected to much else, you lose a lot of options. But in moving to her house, we're going to a larger city with a larger library system. So maybe I'll have access to more books. But I'm really, when I'm going through books, I'm looking at it going, do I have any desire to read it really soon? Like within the next year? Or is it just one of those books I think I should read eventually because people recommended it? And if the answer is no, then I'm seriously considering undecluttering it. And I have a spreadsheet written up of all the books I've decluttered. So if I ever go, what was that book? I don't remember. You know, I can look it up. And like I've compared it, even like, not even just say, okay, I just want the actual book again. I found it on used bookstores and such for like $4. So pay $4, get one book that you're actually reading in the moment compared to storing them indefinitely for maybe. I think I like the first option. So 5 feet worth of books to declutter. Here we go. Editing Amber here, and I've decided to cut this video in half because in total it'd be an hour long if I included all the book decluttering, actually more than that. So look for another video coming soon all about decluttering our books. In the meantime, I hope you have a wonderful day and feel free to like and subscribe.